Yeah. Preparing live stream.
Yep, I see it. I can set reminder.
And we are live. All right. So that's okay. We have to shrink that one down and blow this one up.
Something.
All right.
You need to type something in your chat.
Oh, let's see, yes.
Let's just say hello or something.
Yep. Got it. All right. Well, we're gonna wait for a few more people to come in. All right. So when I say a few more people, other than the couple people that are in here watching now.
All right. You need to type something in your chat.
All right. Well, why am I? Yeah, I'm delaying big time. I just heard that just now.
Yes, you guys gotta mute or turn off your sound on your Zoom if you're watching it on
There we go.
YouTube.
No, it was on my YouTube channel on the TV. That's what it was. All right.
I just got a message in my email saying Never Trust the Skinny Chef Shane is live now. Let's talk about do's and don'ts at a fly-in.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We got 4 people watching, which I think is the 4 of us. More people coming. We got 5 now. Andrew, I had the opportunity to meet up with Andrew last weekend, and we met at the airport, and we had a good time. We got Meat Cranium. He is a one of these guys that will buy something, test it to its limits, and then give his review. Awesome channel. Actually, I need to get back with you and catch up on some of your videos. We got JR Paramotor and Will Fly. Hello, guys. Tonight, what? Will Fly? What, Sean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anything. I was saying something out loud. I didn't mean to. I was just going to say, willflyppg.com.
Oh, yeah. JR Paramotor. Oh, here we go. Will Fly. Hello, guys. All right, I'm getting a huge
YouTube. Somebody's YouTube is still not on mute.
So I got my YouTube muted and my TV muted, so I know it's not me. Never going vegan. I just had 2 hamburgers for tonight. Actually, we made for the 3 of us, 2 chicks and myself. We just made 10 pounds of hamburger patties for our hamburgers. Not saying that it's all gone, but I'm saying we have plenty for lunch tomorrow. But
Will Fly said, "What's up, everyone? Did I win?"
Yeah, I'm not giving away nothing yet, other than entertainment and a couple jokes.
Hey, you know what? If you want to, you can donate one personalized flag from ClearProp TV tonight.
All right. Okay. Well, let's maybe for the best question about do's and don'ts at a fly-in.
Whatever you want to do. You'll just have to email me and let me know, or text me and let me know who won.
Right.
And then they need to go to ppggrandpa@gmail.com and let me know that they won it off of Shane's channel.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. I'm trying not to run before I start to learn to walk on this new Zoom meeting thing. It's a lot, and being a host, like I said, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. You got to keep up with the chat. You got to keep up with, people wanting to come in, what have you. It's it's a lot.
You might want to ask to see if there's anybody out there that would like to be on your panel that can help you out with that.
Right. If I just had somebody on the panel that could help me out with that, just somebody.
Somebody in the chat that wants to come on, somebody that's on the show right now that wants to do it.
Yeah, we got Garcia, your Dinkies, Garcia, and John Wayne in the chat. I'm I'm really interested on tonight's conversation due to the nature of fly-ins. Fly-ins are just amazing and fun, but they're also, I mean, every fly that I've ever been to, they talk about the safety, what to do and what not to do, but yet people turn around and do the exact thing that they were told not to do, like constantly fly over the LZ or what have you. And I'm just kind of curious of anybody that has been to a fly-in, what their opinions are, like their um, what their ideas of things that aren't good at a fly-in that someone does. I'm kind of, I mean, I got a list of things we could talk about tonight just to clear up my opinion of do's and don'ts at a fly-in.
How many fly-ins have you been into or joined, Shane?
Um, Five, I think. I want to say five. And my very first one, I actually left school to learning how to fly paramotors, and I didn't fly at that one. I actually left all my gear at home. I left school, went home. This is how awesome my wife is. I left to go to school for 2 weeks. I came home, dropped my gear off, left for the weekend to go to the flying, and well, a little longer, a long weekend, and I just wasn't going to go and fly because I just learned to fly and I hadn't even done a solo flight. And there's no way I was bringing my gear and having anybody convince me that I need to fly. Luckily, I didn't because the weather was crap and it was cold and windy, and it would have probably put me back uh, in a negative way on progression. Um, I don't know, Eric. I asked you guys earlier, but I don't remember the answer. Have you guys been to fly-ins?
We haven't been to an official fly-in, but when we were doing our training, they had um, there was probably 10 or 12 guys that all met up on a Friday or Saturday. I don't recall what day it was. And they did a fly-in. There was a few things that we weren't too keen on, and one of them was flying over the runway or the landing zone, where we were finishing our training. That was one thing that, and as crazy as it was, one of them was one of the instructors that was doing it, but not anybody was doing anything dangerous. It's just that it was kind of aggravating for us that, when we were finishing our training. So, and that's happened a couple times where that we were doing some training, and there was probably 10 guys that showed up, and 8 of them were flying and at a time.
So Sean has a question. How many pilots would you say have to gather at one spot for it to be considered a fly-in, like a miniature fly-in, if you will?
Yeah, and when we're talking about fly-ins, are we talking about get-togethers that are large, an official fly-in, a gathering? I mean, when we say fly-in on the show, what is the definition?
Well, I mean, for me, there's so many pilots at the compound. There could be anywhere from just me to 16, 20 people. I consider that a mini fly-in.
So when we have a group of people that we fly together with, it's not like an official fly-in. We'll call that a mini fly-in,
Right.
on your podcast. So we keep that clear, right?
Yeah, I would consider maybe 25 pilots or more. I would consider a fly-in. Under that would what I would be considered a mini fly-in.
And then us just getting together with 3 or 4 other pilots is just a group of people, a group of pilots.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
All right, so we're going to have a group of pilots, about maybe 5 or under. Over that, we'll have a mini fly-in up to 25, and then anything over that is considered a fly-in. As far as definitions on this podcast, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year after Palm Bay, I got there Sunday evening, and I flew Monday, Tuesday, I think, and there were still 25, 30 people there flying. They were still there. And the next weekend, half of those people left, but all the locals came back out. So we had another 25, 30 people. So I would say that we had a fly-in after the fly-in, and we were all flying. So it's a lot of flying.
It sounds like it. I guess I have a question because I've never been to an official fly-in. I've been to groups of people and I guess mini fly-ins. I've never gone to an official. When we all get together as a group, we usually get together and say, all right, we want to make sure that we stay away from this guy's house over here and this area over here. And we usually go through, what the airspace is. What do you guys do as far as like when it comes to a big official fly-in? How do you guys find out that information?
Usually when you get there, they either show you something to read or give you something to read, or they just tell you when they're giving you your band or what have you, the few set rules. I know at Swanee, for whatever reason, every morning it's prime time to take off, and they're like, everybody come for the morning safety meeting. I'm like, what? Like, we could be flying right now, bro. What? You could have pulled this a half hour earlier. And but I mean, I get it. I understand that safety comes first before flying, but you can do it a little earlier. At Ohio, when we registered, there was a little thing that just said, what they expected of the pilots. North Carolina was really no real rules other than don't fly over the farmer's house early in the morning, which was off to the side there. Outside of that, there was really no set rules for Vail, North Carolina. We got Ohio, North Carolina, Swanee twice, and then I caught the back end of Palm Bay, but I didn't get to anything. Palm Bay was over when I got there. I mean, there were still a ton of pilots there, but it wasn't running. They weren't running a flying. It was just whoever was left over. We were all flying. But when it comes to Palm Bay with all the pilots that are out there, it just, I don't know. I mean, there's no rules per se. And sometimes you get into a little bit of questionable flying going on. So when that happens, I just kind of veer off to the outside. And
what does questionable flying mean?
If you got too many pilots in one area and they're not flying in a pattern, they're just doing what they want and they're watching out for each other. I'm not ready to go, hey, are you going to go have a pilot flying at me and figure out, hey, are you going left or am I going left? Who's going which way? No, I'm out, dude. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. It's actually happened. I'm not sure if I have the video still. We were flying. There was low fog on the ground. I was actually trying to figure out which way the wind was blowing to come into land because I wasn't comfortable with with how much ground cover there was. You could still see, but I didn't want to get stuck up there. And when I'm looking for the flag, I just happened to look up and see a guy come out of the fog and heading right towards me. And we both went our own ways. But I mean, that was the closest I've come to a midair collision was at that point. And that was probably hour 40, 45, or I'm sorry. Yeah. Hour 40, 45 on my motor. So yeah, it was eye-opening. And now it's made me a little bit more cautious when I see pilots just kind of not running in pattern. They're just kind of flying, doing whatever, exploring, if you will. So, do's and don'ts. So, my number one, actually, I shouldn't say number one. So, the first thing I look at when I type in my GPS, hey, I live here, the fly-in's here. How long is it going to take me? When's my arrival time? I've had John from Slow Days. What's up, sir? I'm sorry, I'm reading. this is where I get all distracted. So if you type in your GPS and it says you're going to get somewhere at 2:00 in the morning, are you really going to want to pull up and sit there with your truck idling, high beams on, diesel just blah, 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 blah? No, you don't want to be that guy. So you just
do people really do that?
let's just say it's happened to me. I'm speaking firsthand that I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning. Someone for like 10 minutes was walking around because I'm in my tent in Vale, North Carolina, and you got the headlights shining on the tent, and you can see him walk in front of the headlights, which puts a shadow on the tent. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, who in the hell? And I grab my phone, I go, it's 3:00 in the morning. Who in the hell shows up? Not just pull in, shut your motor off, and be done with it. No, no, no. Now I've got to get my little flashlight, walk around to find out where I can park my little trailer. Who does that? So and I wasn't the only one that was affected by that. Hey, Mark Elroy. But I was just kind of dumbfounded that some people think that would be okay. If you go, hey, I want to get there in time to fly, you show up maybe an hour before it's time to fly, because guess what? People are already up, start moving around because they're getting ready to fly. I just thought I think that would be a rude and just an inconsiderate thing to do. So I would consider that a don't show up freaking early. If you're going to get there late, 11, 12, I might be okay with that. If you get in and get set up quickly and quietly, that's not a problem. But to get there at 3:00 in the morning, no one's up. Everybody's sleeping. Whether you're in a tent or in a camper, you can hear a diesel truck sitting out there idling, trying to figure out where that person's going to park. So I would say if you're going to one of these fly-ins, make sure you look at your arrival time and adjust it accordingly. And if you're really going to push through the night, pull over on the closest rest area, sleep for 2 hours, get up and head to the fly-in. If you're 2 hours out, it's not a big deal. But to wake everybody up kind of makes you look like a jerk, if you will.
I never would have thought that people would have done that. I mean, that sounds like it's more common sense.
The dog father, Alton, what's up, sir? How you doing? Sean, that dude, Terry, Madwood Barbecue, hello. Alton can cook. That dude can cook some food. He barbecues like there's no tomorrow. And he's got a jug. If you don't know what the jug is, go watch his channel. He'll tell you all about the jug. It's amazing. It's a drink. It's awesome. Let's see. My next thing that I would say is when you get to the fly-in, you get your band or whatever they ask when you pay for the fly-ins, and they give you the rules. How hard is the rules? You don't fly within 30 minutes before. You don't fly 30 minutes after the 30 minutes in the afternoon, evening time. I've seen pilots literally, it's 1 minute past when it's legal hour, and I've watched them try to take off an evening flight. I'm like, why would you do that? It's already illegal for you to fly, and you're trying to take off now. The whole flying over the runway thing. I mean, I've seen smoke exhaust, or the exhaust with the smoke on it, smoke systems. Seen it. You go over once, you go over twice. That's cool. But to keep going back and forth, dude, it's annoying. 1, 2, it's inconsiderate of other pilots that are either trying to land or trying to take off. In Vale, North Carolina, when it got busy, they actually had somebody out there standing in front of the pilot getting ready to launch, and telling the pilot to hold on, someone's coming in. They weren't coming in. They were just going up and down, blowing smoke. And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Why? So, Eric, you got any concerns, or Jade, you guys got any things you want to talk about?
We're listening, just taking it all in. Just, I think our first fly-in is going to be bad apples.
Yes.
And what to expect there.
Well, I've never been to Bad Apples. I would love to go. I'm actually going to go. I shouldn't say I would love to go. I'm going because I'm actually kidnapping my wife and making her go with me. Hopefully, I'm trying to get her to go to Wisconsin. The problem we have with Wisconsin is for both of us to go, it's kind of expensive. And then she won't be able to go the entire time to Bad Apples. But if she doesn't go to Wisconsin, she can go the entire time to Bad Apples fly in, and it's cheaper on us because we'd just be one of us or one vehicle, and we don't have to worry about it. So we're trying to figure some things out. I thought maybe I'd run down to the local strip club, work the pole for a couple of weeks, and make $8 or $9, and then that'll help out with the trip. But we will see. All right, so oh man. So people it's Sean, that chat comes through really quick. Hold on. Sean is my background. He's my JP right now.
If you can't read it, I'll tell you.
No, yeah, I got it.
So Mark McElroy said that they control Bad Apples well.
Yeah, see, my thing, like the power parachute guys, and I guess trike guys too, they'll set up their wing, they'll get in their trike, they'll find the proper music, they'll make sure all their gauges are right, go back to their music. They all just sit there like they're the only ones on the runway. So there's people behind them ready to go, but we got to wait for the guy and I'm not picking on trikes, just so you know, but I will see people sitting out there going through their music to try to find the right music to take off to. You can't figure that out before you go out to the field, set your wing up. I guess it doesn't take that long. Dude, I've seen guys go out, set their stuff up and decide, let me have a conversation with the guy next to me. Meanwhile, there's 3-4 people standing there with motors on their backs, ready to go, and you got somebody in the way that's having a conversation. Man, I've seen so many things at several of these different fly-ins. I was just like dumbfounded. I was like, why do you think that's okay?
So do they tell people, when you're taking off, why don't you set up, upwind, and then if you're landing, land downwind?
Well, for trikes, you can do that. But I've seen it all I've seen a lot so far. And that was one of the things that I was sitting there watching guys in the power parachutes or in the trikes. They got all their instruments because you guys can pack on all the stuff you want because you don't have to carry it. And I've watched them turn on their GPS, turn on their apps, turn on their radio, like all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there going, why am I standing here with the motor on my back? I still have 5 minutes waiting for you to figure it all out. So be considerate of other pilots. I see. I got you. So like I said, I've watched pilots either have failed launches or meet up next to somebody and realize who they are, and their wings are all spread out. They're talking. They're literally in the middle of the runway. So you have a group of people behind you that are now moving their gear over to go around this person or these people. And I was just like, how can you do that? Like, for me, it doesn't make, I can't imagine myself doing that, knowing that people were behind me. If I was like oblivious to whatever, and I was just like, oh my God, look who it is. I haven't seen you in years. I think I would still pull my wing, set it to the side, have a conversation, and then go fly, which I have a problem with having a conversation when we can fly. We can talk later when we can't fly because the winds pick up or whatever, thermals, what have you. What is the other, that smoke thing? Oh, flying over the LZ. Let's see, what else? We got any questions in the chat?
Oh, I got a question.
Or on the panel, do we have a question? Oh, Jade, you got a question. Let's hear it.
So what happens if me being in a trike, and hopefully it doesn't happen, that I have a bad launch? Are you going to get mad at me behind me waiting?
Nope. Nope, because it happens to all of us.
Everybody pretty considerate about that?
Yep, you'll actually find most people standing on the side on the side of the runways. You'll find most people will run out and set you up. Now, if you're comfortable with that, great. If you're not, get out, check your wing, make sure everything's good, get back in, launch. I've had a failed launch when I did the poker run. I have a live where I almost launched into a back of a camper, but I had a failed launch. I went and set up out of the way because the way the wind was blowing, the runway and the campers, it was just a short takeoff. So I actually walked really far out of the way to get into the runway of the airport to take off. But when I got to Avon Park and we were all set up, so we were stacked. This guy was here. Your wingtip was just barely past his wingtip. And the next guy behind you was kind of stacked. So the guy in front of me went, and then I inflated. My wing came up, got crooked. I set it down. Before I could even think about it, I had 3 guys pulling my wing out, laying it out for me. I checked my A-lines. I'm like, they're on top. We're good. Let's go. And I took off. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't really been that big of a deal because I wouldn't want to have had to take my motor off and go and lay my wing out and then take off. But no one's going to sit there and complain about it unless you've had 4 or 5 launches and you've got people behind you waiting. They're going to be like, okay, get out of the way. It's not, you've wasted enough time. But I don't think anybody would ever be rude about it unless you were just insistent on taking off and keep messing up. And then you got other people waiting on you. Mona, what's going on?
John Wayne has a good question. What about certification? Does anybody check, if you're certified or
certified what?
Like if you have your training qualifications?
Well, I don't have any qualifications. I don't have any, what is it, USPPA or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't have any of that. I went to school and flew, and so far everything's worked out pretty good for me. But some what is it, Fun and Sun over in Tampa? I think you have to have at least a class 2, whatever I don't know what the abbreviation is. I think it's a USPPG or JA or whatever it is. You have to have that to sign up for that flying. So yeah, some of these flyings you have to have certifications. So I would definitely look into that before taking off across state or whatever to go fly, because you'd be upset. What do we got here? Hey, by the way, thank you guys for the 10 thumbs up and 22 watching. That's pretty awesome. I'm always impressed with you guys wanting to watch whatever I'm putting on YouTube. It always cracks me up. I'm like, I'm not that interesting, but apparently everyone likes me. I shouldn't say everyone. Some people like me. PBG2 is what Andrew said. Isn't there a US something certification for paragliding or paramotoring? All right. So that was Eric. That was all the questions that was in the chat was from John Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up. This is always like crazy, dude. So for failed launches, Jade, it's not a big deal. I'm saying if you're in your 4th or 5th one, then yeah, you're going to upset some pilots who are standing there waiting. Even trike people are going to be like, okay, I'm ready to go. You're messing up. You got to get going.
After 2, I'm back in the camper having a beer then, and I'm done.
Man, I might accidentally have 2 myself. Oh, wait. Oh, that's not, you said failed launches. I meant beers. Never mind. All right. Which, by the way, I think I've told you guys this before. the guy that ran Vail, North Carolina, Jeff, every morning, see, I drink soda and beer. That's all I drink. I don't drink water. I drink tea sometimes, but beer and soda is what I drink. And I always put, no matter if I'm drinking a soda or I'm drinking beer, it's always in a koozie. So Jeff thought I woke up first thing in the morning, cracked open a beer, and just started drinking all day long. I was like, oh, I couldn't even imagine. I can't drink before PM. It's got to be noontime before I can start drinking. But anyways, so we figured this out in Palm Bay. He's like, I always thought you just woke up and started drinking in the morning. My first question was, and you were okay with me flying? Like, what do you, if you think I'm drinking, if I'm having a flying and I know you're drinking, I wouldn't want you to fly. I would actually walk up to you and say, hey, I think you should be not flying today or what have you. But that's just my personal opinion. What else is there for fly-ins that people do? Anybody want to come on the panel and help me out with do's and don'ts at a fly-in? I can put the link in the chat if, let me see how to do this. Hold on.
You got some foodies on.
Oh, what did you do to me here?
I got a question again. You got some of your foodies on here.
Yes.
So let's say us coming down to Bad Apples from Wisconsin or any other states that are surrounding that area. Are you purchasing your food down there or you hauling it down? I mean, yes, we have a refrigerator, but what's a good thing to do when you're going out of state? And
well, you're still going to run out of stuff. You're going to have to go to stores and buy whatever. I always pack my food because I like to prepare. I have just preparation for what I'm going to be cooking, so I want to make sure I have it before I get there, because I don't want to get there and depend on the local stores that have what I'm after if I can already have it. Yes, will fly. Good question. Flying over the people that are setting up. So you're setting your wing up, you're getting ready to inflate, and you get somebody that flies right over you. What happens if you were to inflate as they got to the point of your wing coming up? And then what? They're gonna end up in your wing. So yeah, that's what the guy at Vail, North Carolina was doing. He was actually standing in front of the pilot because the pilot's facing into the wind. You've got another pilot coming into land who's going into the wind. So you both are looking in the same direction. The only person that can see you getting ready to take off is the guy coming in for landing. You won't know it because you're not going to turn around and look over your shoulder constantly. You have to do both sides. So yeah, when you're coming in for or getting ready to take off, I should say, you make sure that if you're coming into land, you want to make sure that you're not flying over those who are getting ready to take off, because if they inflate their wing and you don't have time to turn, you're going to have I'm sure some messed up equipment. I know you're going to mess up the wing that you flew into. What was the other question I just seen?
As far as Jade's question on the food, Mark McElroy said that there's a grocery store 10 minutes away, plus they have on-site food. So that's pretty awesome. What do people do at these fly-ins when they're not flying in the morning or the afternoon? You know, during the afternoon when it's turbulent. You know, what goes on then?
You have well, for me, I'm a social butterfly, dude. I go and meet everybody and talk to everybody and hang out with whoever and cook. I mean, I usually start cooking my dinner around 12, 1 o'clock if I'm smoking something. Sooner if I'm doing something like ribs or what have you. Mona, yes. Eric and Jade are husband and wife. They both fly. And of course, you know, I fly. She calls me her daredevil. I think it's hilarious because I don't really think this sport is a daredevil sport unless you get into acro. Then I think you're just kind of crazy. But I don't think this sport is at all. Oh yeah, Mark said take a nap. That's what you do in between morning flights because you normally what I found out with these fly-ins, Eric, is you get up really early, you fly, you come back, you hang out all day, you're in the sun, you're talking with everybody, I should say you're more active probably than normal because I know I am. Like I can sit here for 5 hours, no big deal, but when I go to fly-ins, I'm standing up, I'm talking, I'm moving around. I get exhausted. And then you go fly in the afternoon, and next thing you know, everyone comes in and lands, and then they all meet up again, and you just start talking. Next thing you know, it's 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and you're getting up at 5. So you're like, oh, crap. Well, and I don't do naps very well, but by day 3, you'll find me napping. I will be out. You'll be like, where did Shane go? He's sleeping. There's just certain days that catch up to me, and I'm out. There's no stopping it.
So after the afternoon flight, we all hang out over at Shane's and eat
Yeah.
what he made.
So at North Carolina, we had a fire pit, and that fire pit ran for 10 days. It never stopped. So everybody would get up in the morning. It was 40 degrees, what have you, and everybody would come over to the fire pit, and we'd all sit there and talk about the weather, what have you. And then everybody go fly. We'd come back. We'd be cold, so everybody standing around the fire pit. And then after dinner, we'd have the fire still going, so it got cooler. Everybody came and stood at the fire pit. Now, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, man, I'm tired, dude. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm in a tent. Everybody's standing outside around the fire pit. I'm like, I'm never going to get any sleep. But I got very lucky. We had some very respectable people, and they either kept it low, their volume down, or they ended up going to bed. So in that case, I was very lucky, and I had some considerate people.
Mona asked if there's any competitions at these fly-ins.
Yes. So they have kiting wars where you don't actually take flight. You just have, I'm speaking to those who don't fly. So you put on a harness and you bring your wing up and you see how long you can keep it up, longer than everybody else. And some of the kiting wars, you can actually go over and mess up the other pilot's wing, cause them turbulence with your wing, and kind of like sailboats when they're sailing against one another, they get in front of the other one to block the wind and all that other good stuff. Same exact thing. They have one wheel competitions. It's kind of like I don't know if everybody knows what a one wheel is. I've still never been on one because I'd like to walk, and I'm gonna crash that thing in a heartbeat. They do one wheel competitions. They actually have trike races. I actually like watching that because trikes aren't really designed to go top in and on uneven, unlevel ground. And they have these trike races, and I'm just like, dude, there's no way I'd get in that little thing and just no, not me. Oh yeah. Actually, Mona's in Australia with Walter. Not that they don't know each other, but she's in Australia. I believe. Mona, you're in Australia, right? I can't remember. I believe you are. But what else do they have? They have now I will tell you what I don't like is when they pull out the like the basketball or the beach ball, and they have pilots come in and pick it up, and then they fly off with it and bring it back and drop it, and then they do it again. To me, it's just so risky. It's not worth it to me. Like I don't foot drag because I don't want to kick a rock up into my prop and then have to go buy $350 for a prop, and just a foot drag. Why? I paid all this money to get off the ground, and why am I foot dragging while I'm flying? Kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion. I see it all the time on Facebook. A couple of the paramotor pilot groups that I'm on, they're like, "Yep, I was flying along, foot drag, and a rock went up and blew my prop apart. And I was like, why? Why would you do that? Oh, she's in New Zealand. Okay. Let's see. What else we got? I'm so screwed up with this. All right. Which, by the way, in the last like month, I went from like 450 subscribers up to, what am I at now? 485. I don't even get notifications of new subscribers. I don't know why. I haven't changed any of my settings or whatever, but it is it's changed. All right, I have to. So in the cooking community, Eric, when you have to go to the restroom, you say, "Hey, there's someone at my door," and then we get up and leave and go take care of business. So, Eric, there's someone at my door. Maybe we can ask some questions while I'm gone, and we can see if anybody in the chat has a question that we can answer. Are you following? Are you tracking, Jake? Or Eric? I have to. I'll be right back. All right, I'll be right back. Someone's at the door.
Oh, I got that. There's no questions in the chat now. Andrew, I'll need diapers either way.
Okay,
So-
Eric, why don't we tell him about your first flight and training?
Hey, my first flight was awesome. Let's see. Did real well, and then all of a sudden he put the fan on my back, and we decided to go flying. And as I took off, did okay, and we were flying around, and my motor started to cut out. I could not figure out why. And after about 3 circles, I was getting ready to land, and I was doing my last circuit there, and my motor actually did completely shut off, and I ended up landing in a potato field. I did land on one knee and one foot, so but I figured I was still breathing, so I guess I kept going. That was my first flight.
Why didn't nobody tell me I didn't have my background on? Asking for a friend. Let me see here.
You don't have your background on.
Thanks. Good Lord. No one wants to see all of this. This
You
is
have your
horrible.
beer refrigerator background on.
I know.
It's cool because now we finally get to see, where you live and how you live. This is pretty cool. I like this. We should do this more.
The Shane Cave.
I am actually, we're trying to turn this into a bar room. I just have to get off my butt and oh my God, where is the shoot. I'm so silly right now. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to say about myself, but
you're trying to change the computer, aren't you? Instead of
I was. I totally was.
Okay.
But before we had this problem before, now it says I don't have any option for the background on my phone. Before I had it, now I don't.
That's all right.
Yeah. Oh well, you guys are just gonna have to look at that light shining off my head. Is that the light or is that my head shining? What?
Mr.
One of those.
Clean.
John Wayne, come on in, sir. John's got
here.
He's got you got a couple fly-ins, don't you?
Yeah, just the informal ones. I went to Kyle's. I've been to a couple small ones.
Right.
But that was one of the things I was thinking about. Some of those informal ones, you've got real confined areas with a lot of people. You're talking about traffic, and it can get pretty hairy. There at Kyle's, that we got a whole airfield, but there's a little tiny spot that you can use to take off and land. It's really small because when it's wet, and when you get 15, 20 pilots all in a really tight space there, and there's no pattern, no nothing, it gets pretty hairy.
Right. Yeah. So no, Mona's asked the question of how much does it cost to learn to fly can you rent the equipment? I don't know of anybody that rents equipment, but most classes are 2 weeks, and they're run about, well, Mark Elroy they're about 1,500 to 3,500 depending on what school you go to. And when you decide to go to school, you want to make sure you do your research on the school and find out all the pros and cons to that school, because some schools are not all that great. Matter of fact, you get what you pay for, in my opinion. I did not pay 3,500. I paid 2,500 to go to Four Winds PPG. I'm really pleased with that school. I've actually multiple times have called Lauren up and said, "Hey, I'm having this problem or that problem with takeoffs or landings," and he's like, "Come over to school. I'll, free of charge. We'll figure out what's going on." I actually never took him up on that. It just didn't work out, and I kind of figured out what I was doing wrong. But every time I've ever asked him, he's just like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I've been very pleased with that. Sean, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was going to ask, with that $2,500, was that with gear rental, or was that with your own equipment?
So the way that works is you do all your kiting, your school work, your classroom work, which is only like in between the morning and afternoon when you can't really fly. We go into the classroom. If we can't kite, then we go into the classroom and learn about the airspace. But what happens is you get there, you haven't bought anything other than the class. If you decide that the equipment you're on, if you want to buy that equipment, he takes $500 off of the motor, so the frame and the motor. So that's like $7,000 instead of 75, and you still pay full price for the wing. So between class, the wing, and the motor, I was at like maybe 12,000 for everything, and left there very happy. And I'm still very, very happy with my choice of school that I went to.
So
Yeah, for us, it's very similar. It was a $2,400. And we used his equipment until we were, this is what we wanted to do. And then we did order equipment. We did start right kind of at the beginning of COVID. So getting our equipment took a little bit of time. But it's like when you're done, just like Shane says, you can call somebody and or your instructor, and they'll just tell you, "Come on down, we'll take care of it, we'll figure it out." Because when I went from foot launch and I told him I would like to learn how to do trike, he said, "Are you going to buy a trike from me?" And I said, "Well, absolutely." He said, "Well, come on down, $100 and we'll get you certified on wheel launch." So and it leads to it all leads to good things.
Right. Will Fly asked, if someone goes to a fly-in and no one gives them the rules or local hazards, who should they ask? That's a great question, actually. Because when we got there at Vail, North Carolina, Jeff wasn't there. We got there 3 days prior to the fly-in, per his permission, and there was no one to ask. So we actually waited till Jeff showed up because we didn't want to fly without having some kind of knowledge of the area. But with that being said, if you get there and no one gives you the rules, I would talk to several different pilots, find out who's making the rules and who do you need to talk to. Usually the registration is the best place to go because they're going to have all the info. Let's see. What do we got here? Mona, actually, Jade, your comment of not officially meeting yet, but you doubt my halo. Ha! How rude. She's not even on there. Man, I just realized she's not even in there. She's off camera. Let's see.
I'm here.
I can't see you. Are you putting on your parka
I'm
or
here.
something?
I can see you.
I can see 4 people, and I can
I
see.
can.
I
I
see
can.
it.
It wasn't until she talked, because apparently I have it set to whoever's talking. But when I said that, see, like right now, I just got Sean's face looking at me, like smiling at me. All right, so Mark Elroy, when we go, Jade and Eric and myself will be going to Hodges Field. You got any insight on what are the local hazards and rules? Man, Mona and Jade are wearing me out in the chat here. Man.
Hey, all I know is it's Eric's birthday weekend for Bad Apples, so we're gonna have to
Oh,
celebrate.
nice.
Happy birthday,
Jade Mona has a question. Are there many women pilots in this sport?
Mona, I am fairly new at this, and from watching some of these shows, I have found there are some actually pretty good ones, but I think there's few and far between. I did find a Facebook group of paramotor girls and been trying to, you know, interact with some of those right now. And Leah Catello was on there, and Alexis was on there. And I've actually spoke to them, you know, private messaged also, you know, so I'm hoping to be able to meet them.
Yeah, Shannon Michaels is in there too, I believe, on that Paramotor Girls.
I'm on Instagram too, and I one night saw what's his name? It's a little 11-year-old boy. Last name is Fly It Wyatt, and he was out at Salton Sea. And actually, one of the Instagram pages, this gal is trying to interview once a week on Mondays female pilots. And I saw this Bonnie Parker, and she's got a son that's 11, and they're down in the Arizona area. Where's Kyle Oakley
He's
from?
in Louisiana, right, John?
Louisiana.
Yeah,
They're
Louisiana.
down there, and they fly with a group down there. And so I actually got her phone number, and we chatted one night. So she's hoping to be able to go to Bad Apples also.
Yeah, I really, uh-oh. What happened, girl? You went dark on me. I actually, when you go to fly-ins, I just think the amount of people that you get to meet, people that you see on Facebook, you see on YouTube, you don't really, when you meet them, it's kind of weird. Like, I've always found it kind of odd that someone comes up to you and go, "Hey, you're so and so from Facebook or YouTube." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I
know the
It's
first
weird.
time I'm going to ask like Shane and Sean and John Wayne and Jordanke and Mark McElroy. I'm going to ask all for their autographs.
Yeah. Well, I'll come to you to give you mine, okay? First. And then you have to meet me in Georgia
Okay.
for the second one.
Yep.
Sound like a deal? But
no,
yeah,
we're meeting you first.
Are you coming down for the March 11th?
No. Well, I don't know, Eric.
Well, so the fly-in for Palm Bay, the come fly with friends thing, right now the cops are still got Palm Bay shut down. So with that being said, come March 1st, if it's not cleared back up and the cops haven't, opened the compound back up for overnight camping, then I'll cancel it, and I may or may not go see Mark Elroy at that time, which will be at Hodges Field. So, and then when is Bad Apples is in what, May?
Yeah, May 13th through the 15th.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be to that one as well. And then we're meeting up in Wisconsin July 25th.
through August 1st or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 26.
That's the whole summer in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I was told it would be warm and bring shorts because I have 2 pairs of pants.
Yeah, but they didn't
And
tell
that's
you
birthday
about the
month for me.
mosquitoes. They didn't tell you about the Wisconsin mosquitoes, bud.
Oh,
That's why they want you to wear the shorts. Keep the
Yeah,
mosquitoes off of them.
I got mosquitoes here in Florida. We
Not
got
like
plenty
that,
of
you-
swamp here.
Not like that, you don't. I've lived both places. You've never seen mosquitoes until you've seen northern mosquitoes.
What? Here's a pop quiz. What state in the United States has the most density of mosquitoes? Anybody in the chat can answer that question. I will wait till we got till 9 o'clock. It's 8:57. Nobody's. I shouldn't say that because somebody's gonna Google it. I will tell you. I'll wait another couple seconds and then I'll tell you. What state in the United States has the most density of mosquitoes?
I don't know. I lived in Alaska for 20 years, and boy, they were pretty bad there. I
They're
think it
bad
was the
there too.
state bird.
Yeah,
In
Alaska. Alaska is the answer.
yeah,
Is it?
Look it up.
yeah.
They have. You ever watch those guys bear hunting or what have you, and they're standing with a bear, and they're trying to take a picture, and their face are just covered in mosquitoes because they're
Yeah.
just relentless up there. I'm like, oh my god. Juan, Hemi Addiction, how's it going, sir? Oh, Jules, hello, Jules, how's it going? Another, man. If I look through this and I go to everyone that's in the chat, we've got people that fly, people that cook, we got guys working on cars. Man, I'm all over the board. Where are we at with how many's in the chat here? 19. Oh, what did I do? Don't mess with
Shane-
the computer, Shane. What's
Shane,
up, Josh?
you were talking about the prices of training and rental equipment and stuff like that. I don't know how many other people do it or if anybody else does it, but I know that, and I don't know what his prices are now, but Kyle O'Glee's prices have always been lower than most folks. And but one of the things that he did that I thought was interesting was he has a price, and then for an additional amount of money, not a lot, you use his equipment, and if you break it, it's on him. So, you can use his equipment. If you break it, it's on you. A little bit of extra money, and it's on him. And that works out pretty well for a lot of folks,
Yeah.
And
Well,
because
that's
Kyle does nothing to try to sell you equipment. He won't even mention it.
so with
Yeah.
the school that I went to, if you were to blow a prop or mess the cage up, you had to pay for it.
Yeah,
So-
well, same thing with Kyle, except you give him the little extra when you start, and then there's no cost if you tear it up. So
Right. So
That's
we
pretty
got
good.
we got a celebrity in the chat. It's cooking, the cooking cop and Babe. Josh just started I believe round 6 of 9 with his chemo. He's right now fighting cancer. He's a police officer for California and really good guy. Everybody likes his wife more than him, but since he's going through the cancer thing right now, we have to say that we like him too. But Josh is awesome. He's a great guy. And I believe, Josh, if you can message me your PayPal link, I'll put it in the chat for you. That way, actually, I just make you a moderator and not have to worry about it, right? You can do it. He's not working right now, and he's fighting cancer. It sucks, and just a really good guy. When it comes, well, everybody knows when it comes to cancer, I'm all for it, dude. I'll help out any way I can. It's just an unfortunate situation. Cancer sucks, and I know that's not what I really want to say, but there's women present, so I would just say cancer sucks. And if you guys can help him out, great. I made him. Oh, Josh, type in something so that I can see if I made you a moderator, because I don't quite do that well all the time. This computer thing's all new to me. But anyways, So getting back to the fly-ins, what we want, crap. No, I can't, I can, hold on. All right. I'm all over the place with this computer thing. I suck at this. Oh, get rid of that.
Why aren't you demonstrating a cooking?
Did you not see my other Tuesday night thing that I tried doing cooking? And, oh my God. Like I have absolutely no problem telling everybody that was the biggest crap show. Nothing. So I'm one of those people, if it fails, I just keep going and keep going. No matter if it keeps failing, I just keep going. And yeah, dude, that was just horrible. So one thing failed and I kept going. I should have stopped, but I just kept going. That's just the way I do things. And so long story short, nothing worked out. Everything I did failed. And I don't know why. It'd be fine if I could correct it while that was happening, but no, dude, it was just one thing after another, and I was just like, holy crap. So what all right, so this is my game
having
plan.
us on your channel this week, it's going to make it better?
Oh, 100%. Have you not seen Eric? Look at him. Big old stud muffin. Oh. So what I want to do is I want to do a cook, videotape it, and then during the show we can talk about the steps and when you're at a fly-in, what to cook and how to cook it. So I tried to do a show, take care of the chat, watch who's coming in, not coming in, whatever. Cook. It just it just literally was too much all at once, and I failed. And I have absolutely no problem admitting that I totally failed because I did. Let's see here. All right. Go back to this. I'm over here messing with the computer, so at some point this may just die.
Well, I don't think it was a fail last weekend. That it was interesting. Boy, let me tell you, I learned some stuff. The biggest thing for us is, no one getting to watch these shows and getting to know what to expect.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. And when it comes to the food and stuff, I guess we're gonna have to step it up a notch. Our hot dogs on a stick aren't gonna cut it around you.
Well, no, tonight, she's again, well, my wife, she's like, I'm like, because she started this protein diet thing, and which really screws up what I like to cook because I like to cook vegetables and stuff. She doesn't want to eat vegetables, and I'm like, well, I can still make vegetables. She's like, well, then I want to eat vegetables. I'm like, all right. So then we started eating salad with the protein. Well, we didn't have salad today, or we ran out of salad last night. I'm like, all right, well, on your way home, stop and grab bread for me for the hamburgers and grab a head of lettuce and I'll chop it all up and make salad tonight. So I'm talking to her on her way home and she pulls into the driveway and she's like, okay, I'm going inside. I'm like, did you go to Walmart? She's like, oh no, I forgot. All right. When I get off work, I'll stop at Walmart. Well, I'm driving home. I'm like, I don't want to go to Walmart. I hate Walmart. I'm just going home. So I angrily made hamburger patties and ate them plain. Just wasn't good. Oh, here's my vegetables. It's jalapeno cheddar Cheetos. So again, really not happy. So when it comes to food, I like when I go to fly-ins, I literally make things that are super easy but are good. I will make ribs, but it's an electric smoker. I don't have to watch the temperature. You set it and forget it. The sous vide machine, again, set it and forget it. So I will break down and do a sous vide cook again, and like pork butt. Actually, when we go to Hodges Field, I'll bring some pork butt, and I will show you the easiest way to make pork butt that will literally make you just like, you did what? And that's all you did to it? I watch people go out for hours and monitor temperature and make sure they add wood and do this and do that. I'll cold smoke a pork butt for 20, 30 minutes, vacuum seal it, freeze it. When I go to fly-ins or whatever, I will put it in a sous vide machine, let it cook for a day. So I'll start it, say, in the morning, and then the following evening, I'll pull it out, break it apart, put barbecue sauce on it. It's like restaurant style. I mean, it's quality food, and you don't do anything with it. It's absolutely simple, and I get more compliments on that than I ever have standing out here for 16, 18 hours smoking a pork butt that I'm monitoring all day long. Don't have to.
You
You can
mentioned that sous vide machine on your other show, and I'd never heard of one. And then right after you said that, I said something to my wife, and she chuckled. And I said, "What's so funny?" She goes, "You know that thing that you've been cussing at every time you looking for something in the cabinet?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "That's what that is." I went down there and looked. Sure enough, I got one. Never even heard of it before.
So there's a guy on YouTube. His channel's called Sous Vide Everything. This guy has done it all and then tries to come up with new ways to do it. I don't know what he does for a living, but he works at an office and he cooks all this food in the sous vide machine in his office during the day. And then the next day they'll come to work, and at lunch he breaks it all out, and then they have a taste test at the break table and stuff. It's pretty. The guy's phenomenal. There are limits to sous vide machines, such as if you cook poultry, it can't have skin on it because that skin will just turn to this soggy mess thing, and it's gross. You can do chicken breasts that are boneless and skinless. They come out phenomenal. Pork chops. Oh, that was the other thing I failed on. The stupid torch that I have wouldn't light. The next day I got to put it away, and I was like, this stupid thing. And I pulled the trigger, and the thing lit up. I was like, are you kidding me? So yeah, it was just one fail after another. But yeah, you could just take the torch and just torch the meat to whatever crisp you want on the outside, and you're ready to serve. It's 2 minutes worth of work. Daddy Dutch Kent, hello sir, how you doing? You have never looked better. What are you looking through a bottle of whiskey? Is that why I look better tonight? Daddy Dutch, I met him. He came to my house and actually took over my kitchen and finished dinner up because I had cut myself. And yeah, we had a great time that night. I cooked him some sous vide steaks that he enjoyed very much. And I was really happy because, you know, when you got somebody that can actually cook really well, or for us paramotor people that can fly really well, and you got to launch in front of them or you got to cook for them, it's a little nerve wracking. And I was absolutely petrified until he said that was a great steak. I was just like, okay, I could breathe now. But yeah, that was a great day. Let's see, anything else? Eric, you got anything in the chat?
I don't. I'm just looking here.
Jade, you got any other concerning questions about takeoffs or landings at fly-ins?
I don't. I had something, and now I was talking to Mona.
She has been
nothing
part
else.
of. Yeah, she has supported my channel from the get-go. I mean, this just a really good supporter, and she's always making comments on my ridiculous videos. Now she's in the chat. And you guys are
Will
getting
wants
it
to
up
know
on-
more about Hodges Field. I think that's bad apples.
Who is that?
Will Fly.
Okay.
Mark I think has been answering him a little bit.
Yeah, I actually have been
Mark out
told.
here.
Yeah, I've actually been
Sounds
told
like he's
that
into 'em.
Hodges Field is like a golf course that you take off and land from. It's perfect grass, perfectly level. It just, from what I've been told from everybody that's been there, they just rave about it. It's like the number one place to fly for just the amenities. I guess they have 4 bathrooms, hot water for days. You won't run out of hot water. They got power, electric. I don't remember if they have sewer or not. I can't read the text message that just came through from Daddy Dutch, but I get it now. That's why I look better where he's at. Let's see, they have, Mark, is there how many RV hookups, power hookups are there? I think it's $20 a night too for water and sewer. I'm sorry, for water and power. There's a dump station, so they don't have direct hookup for sewer. Which, by the way, my wife is so snobbish.
That's
She's like,
something that you have to make reservations for.
Mark, they got 50 camper sites. And Mark, are you answering? You have to make a reservation for that? Yes. So I might want to do that like now.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, can you text me the info? Do I need to get to make a reservation for that? I can just make your guys' too. Are you bringing a camper down? Or are you guys just driving? Eric,
Who's
are you?
that?
Are you?
Yeah,
Eric,
we're going to bring the 5th wheel down.
Okay. Mark says it's first come, first serve. I'm actually going to be there. I think it's, what is it, Thursday to Sunday? I want to get there probably maybe Tuesday and then stay to Sunday. So I have to, yeah, there's no reservations, Mark says. So I may just get there on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I can save you guys a spot, hopefully. I don't know when you guys are planning on getting there.
We'll be there 2 weeks ahead of time.
Oh,
Definitely getting a spot.
well, shit, save me a spot.
No, I want to pull up and have them see them laying there, saving us a spot.
I'm going to wear my thong just for you. All my whiteness.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, man. No, yeah, Mark says they have 30 and 50 amp. Is each campsite have the option for 30 or 50, or is it certain campsites that have 50 and 30 separate? So, Mark, if you're going to get there Saturday or Sunday before, I might just meet you there. I mean, I'll leave here Friday after work and get there, and I'll just sleep on the side of the road at a rest stop and then get there first thing in the morning.
I just got a notification that there's a big UFO sighting in Florida.
It's not the UFO I'm thinking of, is it?
I don't know. It just made national
Sweet.
news.
All right. Mark, I'll give you a call tomorrow, and
What?
Mark is going to get there Saturday or Sunday before the fly-in. I am all about that.
When is that flying?
May, I think we said it was.
Second week, right?
Yeah,
13th.
13th. Yeah.
13th to the 15th or something like that. But even
Yeah.
then, even if you
Okay,
get
my
there
next
Saturday,
question is,
go ahead.
Go.
No, go ahead.
my question is for that time is what's the weather like down there at that time in May?
That's a great question for Mark. Mark, do you want to come on the show, dude, and answer some of these questions, or are you good with the chat? Let me throw that option out there. If he wants it, he can get it. If not, he can just answer in the chat. Jade, what was your question? Oh, he said it's hot.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're in our cold time of the year right now. Not too long ago, I texted you the other day. It was 39, but by 11 o'clock, it's already back in the high 60s. So I think February is probably our coldest time of the year, but we won't see 39 again, but maybe once. And then today it was, I think I went to work, it was 54, and by 2 o'clock it was 74 today. So I mean, it's so you get to March, it's gonna be, or May, it's gonna be warm. It'll be really warm. I got a kiddie pool,
That's a
just
heat
so you
wave
know.
for us. It's 14 below here.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't. What is your fuel or your heating cost during the winter like this?
16 face quarter
A
year.
lot.
John.
Hey,
That's what it used to take.
You know, it's funny. I have no idea what a cord of wood is. I know it's a certain amount of but I've never had to chop trees. I mean, I'd chop some trees in my yard and burn them in my fire pit for fun, but got no idea how much wood is what.
It's a lot.
Do you
4 by
guys
4.
use?
Ask
Do
a
you guys
woodchuck.
use? Yeah. Do you guys use wood like a fire, like a wood stove in the house, or do you guys have
No, we
fireplaces?
don't. We have just like, well, I can't say just like everybody else. We have high efficient furnace, and when we have heat pump down to about 20 degrees.
You're talking to an HVAC guy.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know somebody in the business.
Yeah, you know somebody that could take care of that.
All the time I lived there, everybody I knew heated with just wood.
Yeah.
Our fireplace will burn our house down.
Yeah.
Where? Yeah, that would be my concern. So, Mark, you in here? I didn't know if Mark.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay, wait a minute. Ask to unmute. So, Mark, it says your camera's not working. You're on mute. And I don't know. I don't know what you got going on there, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm not sure how to get my camera working.
Go
Well,
to settings, go to privacy, and turn it on there.
All right. How about now?
there
There
you
you
go.
are.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, lots of questions for Hodges Field.
All right. I've been there 3 or 4 times. I'm not an expert about it, but I'll tell you what little I know. But I mean, it is. I mean, I've only been to one other fly-in, and that was at that one in North Carolina. And not
Right.
knocking anybody, but that was, that was just a free for all, and it's nothing like that at Hodges Field. They do a real good job down there.
Yeah, I think I was told that they have guys that'll tell you when to take off and when not to take off, and they kind of help everybody get going.
Yeah, and I mean, and like where we were up there at North Carolina, what was that, about 50 feet before you were in 3 foot of grass?
Yeah, it was funny because Jeff kept saying that the winds come right down the runway. I think I took off one time down the runway. The rest of the time it was it was a short runway.
Yeah, I took off 0 times down the runway, and one time when I was trying to come in and land, the weather was getting real bumpy.
Switchy. Yeah.
And yeah, and they would not clear the field, and there was just people laid out everywhere, and anyways, that was rough. But oh well, whatever. It was still a good time. But at Hodges, that field has got to be realistically, it's probably close to 500 feet wide, and I mean it is, 3/8 inch Bermuda sod, and it's hard packed. And Mac Hodges is an older gentleman that owns the place, and that's his baby, and it is amazing. It's probably about 2,500 feet long and about 500 feet wide. It has a nice pond out there that they use to water the field, to water the grass. But he expects you to respect his property. And I mean, he treats everybody fantastic. It's a really good place.
Yeah, JR Paramotor said that the flaggers are bright clothing, and they kind of give you the go ahead or hold up signs. And I'm really looking forward to going there. I'm actually hoping Palm Bay doesn't open up so I can go there early.
Yeah, the last time I went, when the last time that they had the real fly in there,
right?
I wanted to buy food. My wife had packed me a ton of food to take down, so I wound up not buying any food. But there's some local ladies there. I don't know if they're from a restaurant or what, but they came and set up. I wanted to support them, but they had breakfast sometimes. I'm not real positive, but I know on several days they had breakfast and dinner, and it was reasonably priced, like $5 for breakfast or something.
Right.
So
I don't mean to interrupt, but JR Paramotor just came up with I couldn't remember what the other thing was about the do's and don'ts at a fly-in. My biggest pet peeve is cigarette butts. And he was saying that at Hodges Field that you will not leave cigarette butts in the grass or you're out.
No.
Man, I cannot tell you what a pet peeve that is of mine. I've been a smoker for a long, long time. I don't throw my cigarette butts on the ground. Well, I didn't. It drives me nuts. I've had pilots come over. Everyone knows where your campsite is when you leave. So if you come over and you throw a cigarette butt down and I leave and that cigarette butt's there, who's getting blamed for it? It's going to be me. And I've told pilots, hey, go over and pick that up, put it in trash cans right there, dude. Oh, no one cares. I care. Go pick it up or leave, one or the other. I don't care because I'm going to get blamed for it. I'm not picking up after you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Mr. Max saw somebody dump their butts on the ground, and he went over there and helped them pack up their stuff and go. I can tell you this much. That gentleman does not need anybody's money. Not at all.
Right.
And he's being nice to us. We're not being nice to him.
No, I'm even at Vail, North Carolina, as open as it was, as free as it was, I still was respecting everything. Like I said, everybody would come around and hang around the fire pit every night. The next morning, I'd have to go out and pick up all these empty beer bottles and beer cans because it's my campsite. So who's getting blamed for it? So I'm out there picking it up, and every time I'd be like, "Hey, make sure right here's the trash can, guys. Put your empties in the trash can. I'll take care of the trash. I don't care." But I don't want to wake up the next morning and there were several times I woke up and there was shit everywhere. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, this guy's going to think it's us. And when we got ready to leave, I said, hey, where do you want me to do all this ash? I was just going to wet it all down and take it with me. He's like, oh, just wet it down and put it in the grass right here. I spent an extra 10 minutes spreading it out so it wasn't a lump of ash in the grass. You know what I mean? Like I was like, he's like, oh, it's no big deal. Just leave it there. I'm like, no, dude, this looks like crap. I want to leave it better than what I found it. And that's just how I am.
That's
And-
disrespect
Yeah,
of somebody
that's
else's
what gets you
property.
invited
Right.
back.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, dude, I can't stand somebody throws a damn cigarette butt on the ground. It's just lazy. I don't get it. You can throw it in the back of my truck. Put it out, put it in the back of my truck. That's fine. When I get home, I sweep out my truck and stuff anyway, so I'll take care of it then. How can you just
I could tell you the biggest, and for me, one of the biggest things that Hodges at the Bad Apples Fly-In is if you park next to the power poles that are lined up down the runway, as the week goes on, they'll come in behind you. There is a flight line, and if you're parked up at the pole, you're, let's say 30 feet off the flight line, they'll put in campers behind you between you and the flight line, which that would piss me off because I want to be on the flight line where I could stay at my camper and see what's happening.
right?
So anyways, when you go there, make sure that you're on the flight line, because if you got to have an extension cord to get to the pole, that's fine. But I do not want people camping between me and the flight line where because that's my entertainment. I want to be able to see if I'm not flying.
I concur. So you point out where I need to park. Actually, I'm going to I don't think I'm bringing my big camper. I think I'm just going to bring my paramotor trailer, and I just need a 110 at that point. So
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have my camper and my paracamper both.
right.
So hopefully I'll sell my paracamper while I'm down there. That's my intentions.
That's a really good idea. I don't know if you guys have seen his Mark, you want to screen share are you on your phone?
Right now I'm on my phone, and if you think I can do more than just what I'm doing, you are mistaken. I'm tapped out on talent.
Yeah, that's a really nice paracamper he has.
It's
Yeah, it's a nice
beautiful.
job.
Thank you.
My wife actually asked me Sunday when I was finishing up. All I have to do is put an air conditioner in there, and it's done. And my wife's like, "So, how would you rate your paracamper next to other people's?" I go, "I won't even show Mark Elroy the inside of this thing, just so you know." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I showed her pictures, and she goes, "Yeah, don't show him."
Hey, the first thing we're gonna do when we get together is put my stickers on the outside of your trailer. So don't you worry about that.
You're more than welcome to look at the outside. You just can't go in it, okay? You have to knock on the door and then walk around to the other side so you don't catch a glimpse in the inside. I built my camper to be very basic and simple just because I don't plan on I will stay in it, but it's not I didn't build it to have a shower. I didn't build it to have a kitchen in it. I cook outside. Even in my big camper that's got all that stuff in it, I cook outside because I don't want the whole camper smelling, getting grease and everything else up in whatever cracks and crevices. So I cook outside anyways, but I will tell you my 1500 watt inverter does run my 2-burner little electric burner I have. I was really impressed with that. I didn't think it would pull both of them. I don't know how long I can cook for it on a battery, but it's perfect for what I need it for.
Well, I'm
Okay,
excited
I got a question.
Yes, I saw that.
Go ahead.
No, it's for you, Mark. So being down at the fly-ins, do they have like what do they call them, gypsies, or like little stations that people are selling things, or do like you bring your stuff and sell, or like I'm starting to make t-shirts and stuff too? You bring some of those along and sell or hand?
When I was there, I didn't notice much organized like booths or selling like that. I have my little Paralife PPG stuff, and I'm going to bring t-shirts with me. And hopefully they won't have a problem with me selling them at my campsite, and I will donate a couple shirts and stickers, cups to their pilot meeting for them to give away every morning. You know, like I said, I've only been to one other fly-in, and that was the one in North Carolina, and that was, you know, unorganized, and they never once had a pilot meeting that I saw. But at Hodges, they have pilot meeting, and they go over what the rules are and what's going to happen, which I like it that way. And so hopefully I can just give them a handful of shirts that they can give away, you know, at that meeting.
Well, every time you go to a fly-in, you see somebody selling something, a paramotor, a wing, gloves.
Yeah.
Everyone's selling
Now,
stuff, so I don't see what the difference would be if you're selling shirts or whatever.
There's a very
Okay.
large pavilion right in the center of the field, and there'll be some paramotors for sale there. Actually, I'll probably have my Power to Fly Titan there for sale, because by then, I'm guessing I'll be on my Pluma by then.
Real quick, we have a question in the chat. Is there more turbulence over mountains or water? That would be mountains. Mountains are, well, they're a gigantic bugs water, because if you get on the backside of the mountain where the wind is, what is it, leeward side and windward side. So if you get on the backside of the mountain, the wind's coming over it, and you climb up into it, then it creates a lot of rotor, and it'll knock you out of the sky. Hobo Nichols, hello, sir. This guy loves me and hates me all at the same time. We have a love-hate relationship. He loves to hate me, and I hate to love him. So, super nice guy. We have good times together. There was something else in here too I saw.
Hey, Mark, do they have a driver's meeting every driver's meeting? Do they have a pilot's meeting every morning?
Can you tell he raced?
Yeah, well, it kills me because that's what I call it, a driver's meeting. We race stock cars my whole life, and so I still call it a driver's meeting. I'm trying to learn to call it a pilot's meeting, but they had one every day, and I don't believe it was before the morning flight. I believe it was, 10 or 11 o'clock.
And that's reasonable. Everybody's back flying by then. I just didn't understand at Swanee why they did it right at prime time. And they went over the same exact rules as the day before. I'm like, okay, don't fly over the runway. If the medevac is starting its engines up, don't fly over it. If it's coming into land, don't fly around it. You don't have to tell one paramotor pilot to stay away from a helicopter. We all know.
Yeah.
It will knock you out of the sky. You ain't got to tell nobody that. But yeah, I just didn't understand why they did it prime time. I mean, we're sitting there listening to them tell the same stuff from the day before as the sun's coming up. I'm like, we should be launching right now. And what I consider a late launch, they were already starting to tell people to come down to for the briefing. I'm like, dude, we're like 45 minutes into we could be flying right now. And there was no flying until after the safety meeting. But 10, 11 o'clock, I'll be there. That's perfectly fine. I'll be done flying by then and hanging out, trying to get Mark into some trouble.
They canceled Hodges last year, so it was the year before. So you're stretching my memory, but I think that's when it was.
Well, I was going to go to Hodges last year because that was going to be my actual first fly-in to actually fly at, and they canceled it, so I didn't get to go. And dude, talk about just being heartbroken. All I heard, my buddy Jason has flown there a couple times, twice I think, and that's all he talks about. Anytime we talk about fly-ins, he brings up Hodges Field every single time. I'm like, dude, enough. I'll be there soon. I get it. It's grass course quality grass, and it's perfect, and everything's nice. I'm like, yeah. I'm ready. Actually, a lot of people say that they go to fly-ins, not to fly, just to hang out and meet up with people. And I get that too. But if there's a chance to fly, I'm out of there. Now, for a newer pilot like myself, I like to be in the morning. I like to be the first couple people in the air because I don't want to have to wait and launch with a bunch of people. One, you get the pressure of failed launches. Two, you got the pressure of it's your turn. You got to go. And I just don't like that pressure. So I will be one of the first couple people setting up 40 minutes before legal light, just so I can say I'm ready to go when it is legal light. The other thing is in the afternoon, everybody will be out flying. And then all of a sudden they'll realize, hey, I got to come in and land because it's about to get dark. Next thing you know, you got 40 people trying to come in and land. As a newer pilot, that's a little sketchy for me. So I cut my afternoon flight short by 45, 50 minutes before legal light or sunset, just so I get in land. And then I get to sit there and watch everybody else come in and land. And some do great, some don't. I'm hoping, to be there to witness both because, well, that's why you go to NASCAR, right? To see them race and then not do so well. Yeah, me too. It's the same thing. I don't wish bad upon anybody.
I had one of those tonight here at the house. Not me, but one of my buddies lost a prop and twisted up a frame here at my house tonight.
That's the only concern I have about flying at your house. You got 15 different camera angles to see all the different ways I screw up.
It's okay. It's okay though, because you'll never see me post anybody else's screw up. I'll give it to them and give them the option to post it. But if it's their screw up, it's theirs. They could do with it what they want. I'll show mine because I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. And Kyle Ugly is taking great advantage of my mess ups on his videos.
Hey, Andrew gave me a great idea. He said I should bring number cards and hold them up to landing scores.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Hey, has anybody heard
one of our tables?
What, Mark?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying we could put up a table, a little 8-foot folding table, and put chairs behind it and have scorecards. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right, John, what you got?
I was just curious if anybody's heard anything from Mark Amundsen.
What happened to him?
I don't know. I haven't heard a word about or from him in months.
Well, I do know that I think he's kind of laying low on the paramotor stuff. He took on a new job.
No. Yeah, I didn't know what the deal was exactly. I just know he just up and kind of disappeared after that last fly-in, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, he kind of switched careers. So
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got we're pretty much, anybody else got any questions or comments?
No, I've just got a comment that if you're getting up early, I'm getting up a lot earlier, and I'm not running you over to get out to the field first to get up on the air before you.
No, I want to be behind you. I want to be behind you so I can see your takeoff and be like, that's my girl right there. And if you mess up, you're like, I don't know her.
I blew 2 launches yesterday. Kicked my butt.
I blew one. Did I blow 1 or 2? I blew 1. I brought the wing up and I think I had rotor coming off the trees, and because we're at Sebastian Airport, and we had one flag out towards the center of the field, and then we were on the other side of the abandoned runway, and I had a flag there, and the flag out in the field was blowing just fine. The one we were by the truck wasn't blowing worth a snot. Kim. Yes. Sorry, I get messages and I'm bipolar. I have to read them. So I inflated. It came up just fine. All of a sudden, I started running, and there was nothing there. I was like, wait a minute, where did my wing go? And I turned around, and it was already halfway on the ground. I was like, all right, that's not normal. Turned around and got set back up and took off, no problem. And I think we had one or two more launches. Was it two? We had 2 or 3 launches after that. I can't remember. But did see a couple dead sea cows. I guess the cold got to them. And yeah, so he said. But I tell you what we did, and I didn't get any video of this. You can ask me why after I'm done telling you. So the river, it was an overcast day. There was no wind. The river was just glassed over, and it hasn't rained here in a while, so you don't have all the runoff stirring up the water. I seen more baby dolphins, manatees, baby manatees, stingrays, sharks, you name it. I'm just flying along going, I've never seen the river this clear, and look all the crap that's in it. Because I did see a bunch of car tires and everything else. I'm like, how does car tires get 60, 70 yards off the shoreline? That's a hell of a throw, just so you know. And I mean, we flew from Sebastian Airport over to Valkyria Airport and back. And I'd never seen the river like that. The entire time I'm listening to music, just going, this is the greatest view that I've ever seen from the river. And never recorded any of it because I had to kill my music to record. And I was really jamming out, enjoying the flight.
Yeah, Mona's got a question. She wants to know the strangest thing you've ever seen from the air.
I would say the strangest thing I've seen from the air would be Fly Baby Fly, Yordankis Garcia waving at me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I got one.
What you got?
When I trained at Cal Matula out at Power to Fly in Texas, and we trained at the beach, and I was there and I was totally focused on my paramotor, of course. And anyways, there was a pickup truck back down by the edge of the water, and there was a girl nude sunbathing in the bed of the pickup truck. And I was honestly 100% focused on learning to fly. And anyways, I flew by there and I was doing what Kyle was telling me to do, but I made 2 or 3 passes over that truck and they packed up and went home.
Mark, can I get that address?
So at the compound, there's endless amount of roads out there, and everything on the outside of the roads, on the edge of the roads, are overgrown trees and high grass. There occasionally will be vehicles parked randomly throughout this place on odd times of the day and night. And so, yeah, we do fly over those, and not that you can really see in the car or what have you, but we fly over a couple times, and then a few minutes later they leave. So it tells me they're doing something they can't do at home, apparently. I have no idea. I don't know what the strangest thing is. That makes me really think about that, because I have no idea what the strangest thing is that I've seen. Well,
then the cops should like that you're flying over there and keeping everybody out of there.
Well, that's the other thing. There's been several times the cops have actually asked us to look for vehicles or persons that have either called the cops or that the vehicle being last seen in that area, and asked us to go fly around and see if we can find it. That's why when it comes to the paramotor guys, the cops right now, they run all the motorcycle, dirt bikes and 4-wheelers and side-by-sides. They run them out of there, but they leave us alone. We're out there first thing in the morning and in the evening, and they're over there causing ruckus with the 4-wheelers, but they never come over to us because we don't cause any problems. So I'm so up in the air with this flying for Palm Bay. The last thing I want is somebody to fly or come from Wisconsin, Ohio, Texas, whatever, and get there, and then
Georgia.
you're not able to overnight stay. I wouldn't do that. If I do not have confirmation that it's okay for us to be out there, I will cancel that flying in a heartbeat. Like, I just posted it because it was canceled because there was no sponsors. I only posted the thing because I don't want to miss an opportunity to fly with a bunch of people. I don't want to miss the opportunity to hang out with all pilots and have a great time. So my reasoning for posting that isn't for notoriety, not for to be cool. If I could post that on Facebook without if I could post on Facebook without putting my name up there, I would have preferred that as well. Because since I did that, I probably have 15 people requesting friends requests, and my Facebook page is my personal page. So I have an Instagram page and I have YouTube. Those things I share, but I kind of keep my Facebook to people I consider closer friends than just somebody that flies paramotors. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just the way I think of it, I guess. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, so for us, let's see, the strangest things. I think John would understand. Where we live, we don't have neighbors right next to us. We don't live in a city. We live out, we have land all around us. So for us, I didn't realize how much our neighbors really need to clean up their backyards. So,
Yeah, that was nice. Our driveway where I lived up there is 2 miles long.
yeah.
Okay, so our neighbors are far, far away. But you're right. When I was a kid, there was a fellow used to fly over all those farms and take pictures and then come back and sell them to everybody. And we
Yeah.
bought a picture of our farm. It looks terrible from the air.
I guess the strangest thing I've seen would be in the city, it's Palm Bay, but in the city of Palm Bay, there is a house that has a lot next to it that's been turned into a farm, I guess, and they had llamas. So I'm cruising down the canal and I look over and there's a llama just looking at me going down the thing. I was like, oh, there's a llama. Who knew? So I circled back around and then there was like 5 or 6 llamas in there. But that was pretty cool.
There you go.
So during my training down in Madison, Wisconsin, Eric had started watching a lot of the YouTube channels with all you guys, and one of them happened to be Tucker Gott, and I started to get kind of interested in watching Tucker, and he just went silent now. So I said to my instructor as I flew around the pond, I said, "Oh, look, there's Tucker down on the pond." And my instructor said, "Tucker's naked on the pond?"
I guess if I flew right now in Wisconsin and I flew over your lake and it was frozen, that'd be the strangest thing I've ever seen, because I've never seen a frozen lake before, just so you know.
It looks like a regular lake, just frozen.
Just
Like a
frozen.
big field.
So you
Yeah, and
can you
ours-
drive on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember I showed you my kid plowing it Sunday,
Yeah,
which made me nervous.
It just doesn't. I'm born and raised in Florida. It makes like that idea of it. I've walked across a puddle that had some ice over top of it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I can't imagine a whole pond. When I watch those like ice fishing videos, I'm just like, dude, I don't know if I'd be trusting all that driving my truck across that. No, thank you.
Those they
We
got
were out
big
there-
lakes that freeze.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
we were out
uncommon.
there when it first froze, and you could see the weeds still, and we had 5 or 6 inches of ice, and I was looking down there like this to see if I could see any northerns swimming by, and it was just glare ice.
So as a hunter,
We've been up there snowmobiling up to Eagle River, Wisconsin, and that's fantastic snowmobiling up there.
Yeah, that's where my home. That's where I'm from. Is just north of there, Land O'Lakes. I raced in the 1971 Eagle River World Championship. I had the only Scorpion snowmobile in the final race. It's on the YouTube. You can see the race.
Wow.
That's awesome.
John, I wasn't even born yet, just so you know.
We like you less.
Yeah, but you talk about ice. The winter of 1970, everybody had to buy extensions for their ice augers because the ice was so thick you couldn't get to the water with a regular ice auger. You had to have an extension on it to get through the ice. A lot of freeze out. A lot of fish die when it freezes that deep.
Yeah, actually, JR Paramotors is talking about the log trucks going across the ice. I did watch that Ice Road Truckers or whatever it was, where they cross certain times of the year for getting gear to certain parts of wherever they were at, Alaska, Canada, or something. And yeah, dude, you can have all that, man. I'm not driving across no ice. No, not today.
There's
Not
nothing
even in my
dangerous
golf
about it.
cart. T. Roy Cooks, what's up, sir? How you doing? He's he says I've never been on a frozen lake or snowmobile. We don't have the cold here in Texas. Ain't got it in Florida either. I think I seen something on Facebook the other day. It said it snowed in 1973 or something like that. It's 1971 or something. It actually snowed in Florida, and they had all these people outside with their writing, Florida, whatever the date was, on the windshields of their cars and stuff. And there was snow all over it. Only one time have I seen a snowflake in Florida, and they would come down as soon as they hit the ground. They'd disappear, and I was just like, all right, that's cool. Now I have been sitting in the woods in Alabama. The very first time I ever witnessed an actual snow incident. I was sitting in the woods, and next thing I know, I hear just like it's raining almost, but it wasn't raining. I kept seeing little flickers of stuff flying by, and I thought it was like seed pods floating in the air. I was like, what in the hell is all this stuff? And next thing you know, it started landing on me. I'm like, oh my God, it's snow. So I'm texting my wife, sending her videos and stuff, and she's like, is that snow? I'm like, yeah. She's from Ohio, so she don't care. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like flipping out, having a great time. I actually ended up, what was it? Negative 15 degrees. I went out, hunted in the morning, sat there for 6 hours. And the only reason I came in is because my Gatorade that I had in my pocket froze and I had nothing to drink. And I got thirsty. So I ended up coming back in. Everybody else came in a long time before me, and they're like texting me every now and then, you still alive? I'm like, yep, watching deer walk by. They're like, you cold? So, not yet. I'll come in when I'm cold. I'm a grown man. If I get cold, I'll come in. But there was deer walking, so I'm not getting up, going nowhere.
You know, Sean, this is the truth. And I know unless you've experienced it, it doesn't sound right. But you can go out in northern Wisconsin and Minnesota and places like that. And if it's 25 below zero and you go out in the morning and the sky is clear, there'll be this real fine snow that's fallen through a clear sky. And it's just whatever tiny bit of humidity still in the air just crystallizes and falls. And it will be so quiet at 25 below zero because there's not another living thing moving. You can actually hear that stuff hit this. You can hear it hit the snow. It's that quiet. It's rare, but it's amazing when you experience it.
Hey, I have I have a question for T-Roy. So, T-Roy, we do fly-ins where a bunch of us guys meet up and do flying with our paramotors and stuff. Do you have a video of a easy cook that we could do camping or while we're at the fly-in? So we're pretty much in either campers or tents or makeshift living quarters. Do you have a video that you would suggest on one of your videos? This guy has, God, I want to say he's got over 50,000 subscribers, and he's watching my channel right now. Why? Just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
he's a super great cook. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal. He can smoke all day, every day, and you wouldn't be mad at him for it. Trust me. I'm just kind of curious. He's got to have a simple. I don't know. He said he's made a. I don't know what a hobo pockets are. Anybody know what a hobo pocket is? Because I don't. Is that kind of like a hot pocket? Man, I would love to know. I'm gonna T-Roy, I'm gonna go through, and next Tuesday I'm gonna go through and find a video that's easy to do while we're out doing this paramotor thing, and I'll have to send some people over to check it out because dude has some amazing cooks on there. One day I'll be almost as good. Oh, there you go. I'm sorry. He's got 325,000. So I was only like 225,000 subs off what he has. Holy crap. I barely got 400 and he's 400. He got 325,000. Dude, that's huge. Oh, man. All right. So are we about done with this, with the flying? Next week, what I'm going to do is during the week, I'm going to do a video cooking something that's easy for fly-ins that is going to be delicious. And then during this show, I will screen share and we'll run the video and we'll talk about it, maybe add different ingredients if we like it, maybe and just I kind of would like this episode, these Tuesday night shows, to be about what to cook at fly-ins, not just cooking, but also talking about paramotors and everything. But like, if you guys have noticed in the chat, I have a lot of cooking guys. I have a lot of paramotor guys. I've got guys that work on cars. So I'd like to kind of keep everybody involved and not just leave it up to just paramotor. I'd like to be able to cook. And not that I have any skills, but I do like to cook.
Hey, I'm all about food.
Me too. Have you not seen my belly? I actually don't eat all that much. I just drink a lot. Empty calories. All right, guys. Well, I will.
Hey, Shane.
What? Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, if anybody, I'm sure there's a lot of people. You could probably just YouTube Hodges Field and get a look at the field. I know on my YouTube channel at Paralife PPG,
Right.
if you go there and then look at, maybe it says like Mile High or something for that video, that's from Hodges. So you could get a little bit of a view of what the place looks like.
Yeah, my buddy Jason has showed me video that from when he flew there. And that mine, I know about the prison. You're not supposed to go near the prison because if you do, then they quarantine or put everybody away back in their cages. And then so what I'm doing is I'm putting my email in the chat. If anybody's got a recipe or something they would like, maybe I can cook during the week and then put on here for the show on Tuesdays, then we can do that too. So I'm all for whatever. I'm just hanging out, having fun with you guys. You know what I mean? I don't want this to be a job because
Easy
I didn't
smoker
start.
recipe.
You need smoker recipes?
Easy ones.
Oh yeah. Well, I gave you an easy one. Jade said there was too many steps involved. That pork butt. That's not too many steps. Oh man. Like ribs. Oh my God. Easier. Okay. Go to the barbecue joint down the road.
Right.
Order your food.
That's what we did tonight.
I thought you were eating Mexican. It looked like you were eating Mexican.
Well, yeah. It was.
See, I know my Mexican. I know what they look like. the food. Let me clarify that, what I just meant by that. I know what Mexican
We
food
were looking
looks
for
like.
a Yorkie.
Yeah, right. All right, everyone. I think we're going to call this good for 2-hour show. I don't want to go too long and be doing all this. And so we got Sunday night shows. We got Monday. We got Tuesdays now. We got Wednesdays and Fridays. So sometime my wife looks at me and goes, "Hey, Shane, can we not YouTube tonight?" I'm like, "All right, let me finish watching this video and then I'll come in and talk to you." And I wanted to thank everyone for the 19 thumbs up. Holy crap, that's awesome. I'm always amazed by that, truly. I think we had up to 24 people watching at one time, which again is freaking awesome. So, Jade, Eric, John, Mark, thank you guys for coming on. And I will see you guys, Wednesday night? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Well, I'll be watching. Let's see. Grill some chicken.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, guys. Till next time, thank you again. And I got to figure out how to shut this off. Hey, just let's everybody be cool real quick. Here we go. And here we go. And all right, guys. Peace out. Have a great